So today we're joined by Cam Mulatz, a realtor here on Vancouver Island, who just happens to also be on our team here, the Seize the Day group. And today we're going to chat a little bit about his story and his real experience. So Cam, tell us a little bit about your real estate story first.
So I've been licensed for just over 2 years now. I worked in the construction industry for about 20 years, the last 16 of that being tile. I had two knee injuries about a few months from each other, which resulted in surgery. In and around that time, I was encouraged by a friend to consider real estate, so I got my license, and here we are 2 years later.
Awesome. Good to hear. So do you miss tiling?
I don't at all. I enjoyed doing it all the years that I was doing it, but it's funny, I have not looked back at all.
Yeah, you're ready for a change.
Yeah.
So your path in real estate is a little bit different, I think, than probably most agents in that you were never really at a traditional brick and mortar brokerage first and then made the switch to a cloud-based brokerage. So with that unique perspective that you have, do you feel like you ever missed out on something by not being at that brick and mortar brokerage?
Yeah, like you said, I don't really have anything to compare it to because when I was licensed, I came right on with Real. And I found that when I first started, even when I was going to school, I thought that I was so used to getting up early, going off to work, and having somewhere designated to go. I thought that a designated office space would be a good thing. And we kind of considered it as a team, whether that's something that we should have. And we've reconsidered it again recently. And I don't really feel like I'm missing anything by not having that specified workspace to go to. I enjoy working from home. Most of the time, if I'm on my computer, I'm working from home. Sometimes I'm working from the road if I'm out doing listing appointments or showings. But I like having the flexibility of working from home just because kind of balancing work life and family life, it gives me the flexibility of being able to pick up my kids from school if they get sick or whatever the case may be. So yeah, I haven't missed being able to be in an office as far as being able to collaborate with other agents and other brokerages. There are a lot of events throughout the year in town and realtor collabs. So I find that's a good chance to be able to collaborate with other agents for sure.
Yeah, I really do agree. So now, turning the gears a bit onto Real, what do you think are some of the biggest items of value that we get from Real here in Canada, especially?
So some of the big things for me I've found since I've been with the company is that the stock purchase plan. So I bought into the stock purchase plan early on when I first started. So I think if I remember right, the stock prices were at about $1.50 for
Mhm.
Rex, I guess it's called. Um, and we've over the last 2 years we've come to over $5. So that's been a really good asset for me. So when you're part of the stock purchase plan, a portion of your commission is paid in stock, and when you buy into that program, the company is contributing a percentage as well. So that's almost become like a small income stream for me and my family. So that's definitely been an asset for us.
Yeah, it's kind of like a forced savings account, right? Like you don't really think about it because it's just automatically being allocated to this side little account that's in your control, but it's growing. And yeah, you have this little savings account. So I think that is a really massive thing of value that we do get that's unique that isn't really offered at other brokerages.
Yeah, and there's other like income streams as well, revenue share. So if you're putting time and effort into attracting people to the brokerage and to the company, you're paid a dividend from that. So it's kind of nice, like your effort is rewarded, and rather than the company taking all of its income and using it itself, it's paying it back to the agent. So that's a nice little asset as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. So, and thing in the news recently was Real. They announced a change to the fee structure and how it was set up, how it works specifically here in Canada. So that really does affect us as Canadian agents. So can you let us know your thoughts on this announcement?
Yeah, so I was at the online meeting when that was first announced, with the brokerage and with the management here. And the way that it was explained to us was a few years ago when Real came to Canada, they basically copied and pasted their format from the US, plopped it into Canada, and it was $12,000 for your cap. And then they just took that same $12,000 and put it into Canadian funds and started it that way. Um, so, I mean, when you look at the difference between the US and Canada dollar price, that doesn't really equal out. And having that really low fee structure for several years has been a great way to attract people to the brokerage. But it was kind of one of those things where a perfect thing can't last forever and we need to change with the times. And during those years, it was like the US real side was subsidizing the Canadian side, and that's not really sustainable. So I think it makes sense. We're still getting an excellent value. We're still one of the most affordable brokerages to be a part of. So it's something that, I mean, paying more always, there's always that initial, like, why are we paying more? But it was explained really well to us, and I think it made sense. It wasn't something that upset me. I think we're still getting excellent value for what we pay for.
Yeah, I do agree. And I think that's the question that you really have to ask yourself is every brokerage has to get paid. It is a business. There has to be profits. So it's are you getting more value than you're paying into the to that brokerage? And for me, yeah, I agree. The answer is yes, I definitely am. Um, Change is hard, right? And as
Sorry, that's my phone ringing.
it's okay,
Noise
we'll cut
going.
that out. Busy realtor. Change is hard and hard for some people more so than others, and I totally get that. But Tamir, actually, there was a question asked to him in the last questionnaire, and it was really brought about because this difference between the Canadian dollar and the American dollar is just getting a little bit silly, right? So that's why they had to reevaluate. So then he was asked, well, what if we get back close together? Like, what if we get to par in a couple of years? Will it be changed again? And he said, yes, like we're open to that communication, to changing things back. It's just right now things need to be sustainable, and the business needs to be able to cover its expenses essentially.
Yeah, for sure.
So, nextly, just briefly, what do you think are some of the best like tech tools? So we know lots of value things that Real gives us, but what about the tech tools that Real provides to us that you particularly appreciate?
Well, again, I don't have another brokerage to compare it to, but I think the way that we're doing things, and from what I've heard from other agents and other brokerages, our transaction platform is excellent. We're integrating AI into that currently with Leo. Leo's getting to a point where very soon we'll be able to see that as we're loading documents, it'll be scanning our documents to make sure we haven't made any mistakes. Even something simple like missed one initial on one page. So it'll send that back to us and say, make this correction before that becomes an issue with the transaction, or even before it goes to our managing broker. So it'll save them that management time. So that's an excellent thing. Real signature as well is something that we have. So rather than having to go to DocuSign or another company that you have to pay a membership for, we have Real Signature included in our transaction platform. So I think things like that, they're definitely a real asset. Our brokerage is very focused on technology and the value of owning and designing our own technology. I think that's a really good long-term plan.
Yeah, yeah, I really do agree. So, what is something that Real gives us or provides, but for whatever reason you feel like maybe you haven't taken full advantage of, or not that you've slept on it, but there's something like, I really want to get into that. I know we have it, but I haven't really dug into it. Is there anything like that?
Yeah, so I've found in this industry, the education is it's a little bit like drinking from a fire hose. there's so much to learn. It's a steep learning curve, especially coming from construction into real estate. There's certain things about houses and building that translate, but the tech side of it has been a lot for me to learn. So Real Academy is something that our brokerage offers as far as educational content. We get emails as well from Sharon with excellent educational content. So it's a lot to take in, and that's something that I want to take more advantage of in the future for sure.
Yeah, there's so much valuable content there, and it is a fire hose, and you quite simply can't take it all in because there's over 30 live classes held every single week, right, on different topics. So, yeah, I agree. Just kind of circling back, and if you have some time, go check out what's happening today or what happened this week in Real Academy and tune in. It doesn't even have to be live because everything's recorded. There's a lot of knowledge there. Yeah. Well, thanks a lot for your time, Cam. Really do appreciate you hopping on with us. So, if anyone's looking to reach out and chat with you, or perhaps join Real here in Canada, how can they get a hold of you?
I know telephones are a little bit dead these days, but I'm always available for a call, even if it's in the evening. Agents basically work 24 hours a day, right? So call me anytime, whether it's a phone call or a text message or email. All of our contact information is on our website at seizethedaygroup.com.
You're an old soul. We can still call you.
Yeah,
Thanks for your time today, Cam. Thanks a lot.
good chatting with you.